Eleanor, the Mustang that was the star of both Gone in 60 Seconds movies and the only car so iconic she got her own credit in the original 1974 film before returning with a makeover in the 2000 reboot. We'll look at her incredible origin story, how her legend was cemented in the remake, and why she's a car with so much character she sparked a 10-year copyright legal battle that ends with a surprising twist. This, then, is the amazing story of Eleanor. Okay, let's ride. The first Gone in 60 Seconds was a pet project of writer, director and lead actor H.B. Halicki. It was lucky he owned a junkyard, as this brought costs down massively, even with a total of 127 vehicles that were destroyed during filming. Halicki played the protagonist Maindrian Pace, but he also played a customizer off-screen with his co-star, the 1973 Ford Mustang Fastback. This car is the last of 48 that he needs to steal in the movie, but it wasn't actually a 1973 model at all. It was a 1971 version with updated grills. The blackout treatment given to the sides of the car was borrowed from the Mac 1, but the hood design was a true original. These changes were forced by budget constraints, and it was the paint job that best reflected this issue. The medium yellow gold paintwork that the Mustang was meant to receive had to be compromised to a school bus yellow finish. Not quite the vehicle you think of when epic car chases are concerned. But this didn't stop the movie or its non-human lead from gaining a cult following. Each car stolen in the movie was given a woman's name, and this Frankenstein's monster of a vehicle was given the rather debonair pseudonym Eleanor. Halicki was so enamored with the Mustang that he included her in the credits. This is the only car to have received such an honor. But it was Nicolas Cage, with the help of Disney, that would give a set of revamped wheels legendary status and open up a whole legal minefield worthy of a Hollywood movie in its own right. Halicki died in 1989 from an accident filming a 60-second sequel. However, a 2000 remake of the movie was produced when his widow Denise licensed the rights to Disney to release a film with the same name. This time, Cage's character, Randall Memphis Raines, had the job of stealing 50 cars rather than 48 in one night. There were changes to the plot, but one crucial detail remained. A Mustang named Eleanor was the last car. With Disney dollars behind them, the production crew could afford themselves a custom-made Dupont Pepper Gray 1967 Shelby GT500. In fact, they could afford to play with 9 body shells and 3 fully functioning vehicles. In reality, the cars weren't Shelbys. They were 1967 fastbacks customized by the company with some extra flair to give them that iconic Shelby look. The add-ons included fender flares, a new fascia, headlight bezels, rocker panels, and side exit exhausts. The design was the brainchild of hot rod illustrator Steve Stanford and made real by the excellently named custom car designer Chip Foose. The movie was a box office hit, and this Eleanor had been let loose on a whole new generation of fans wanting to have their own versions of the car. But Denise Halicki was about to make that as difficult as stealing 50 cars in one night. Denise argued that her company, the appropriately named Eleanor Licensing LLC, owned the rights to the rebooted vehicle. Her view was that the Shelby Mustang GT500 was the equivalent of a character with defined traits that were reflected across multiple movies, like the James Bond of cars. So once this was taken to court, it meant no one else had the right to make a clone of Eleanor, no matter how much they wanted her. The claims meant that even though Shelby was the company that created the cars for the 2000 remake, they weren't able to license it to other people or allow companies to manufacture and sell their GT500 models. This essentially meant no one could make copies apart from Halicki's company. This led to more copyright issues than a YouTube back office. A well-known example of this bizarre copyright ruling is when YouTuber B for Build had his replica Mustang seized, and he wasn't the only person who had their Mustang gone in 60 seconds. Others just like him suffered the same fate. That was until 2022, after a 10-year legal battle, the courts heavily criticized Halicki's claims throughout the original lawsuit and instead ruled in favor of Shelby. What this meant was, rather than having the Eleanor Mustang fair use for everyone, Halicki's plan backfired worse than an old Ford, and Shelby could now do whatever they wanted with Eleanor.